a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
All right, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. How the heck is everybody today?
Whoop, whoop. We're doing good. How you doing?
Doing all good.
Whoop, whoop,
Doing all good.
Day drinking. What's that from?
Anniversary.
Yeah. The horror movie, Kevin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. A lot of whoop whoops going on.
Day drinking.
Yeah, I learned that from you.
I learned it from growing up in New Orleans. That is just the best day drinking town.
Is that what everybody does in New Orleans? Or is that just what you did in New Orleans?
That's what everybody does in New Orleans.
I do feel like there is a culture of drinking and music. Even I feel like y'all get it started pretty early, and y'all like to be in the kitchen and drinking and cooking, and it is fun.
Totally.
I love doing that.
I think cooking and drinking goes so well together, and cooking and drinking and breakfast is the way to start it, and then just keep the day going. Pass out by 6 p. You're good.
No one believes you're passing out at 6 p. because the Raging Cajun don't stop, can't stop. Especially if you're in New Orleans, you'll find some New Orleans magic dust to get you going.
I'll be twerking upside down.
Yeah, but to your point, cooking and drinking is very fun.
It is. I love it.
Yeah, it's a nice little combo. When I went to college, that's where I kind of fell in love. I mean, we did a little bit of it in high school, and it was kind of neat because I had such a curfew. My parents were so strict, I couldn't really stay out late. So, you know, I was so smart to say, well, if you can't stay out late, drink earlier. So, and I just liked it too because it was sunnier. It was nice. It just felt pretty awesome to have a buzz and have there be sunshine. And I fell in love with it. When I went to Ohio University, they would always have what was called block parties. They would have these streets with all these college houses on it, and they would shut down both ends of the street, and then people would bring out kegs and couches, and they'd have a band stage on each side of the street. And Palmer was one of the streets, and they had Palmer Fest. And each street, you knew in the springtime, when you finally had good weather in Ohio, every weekend was a different fest. It was High Fest. It was all these kind of things. And that would just be it. Everybody would go to that street, and you'd have a massive day long into the night drinking party.
Look, celebration, when you're around people that everyone's in a good mood celebrating, come on, isn't that what life's about?
We grew up with great neighbors and great people. Now, my parents weren't born and raised in New Orleans, so they didn't have the culture, but they brought us around people that did. And these people would literally, like you're talking about, block parties for crawfish boils. In crawfish seasons,
Right.
you would have several families on a street just all decide, this Saturday, we're doing a crawfish boil. It's little Boudreaux's birthday, and
Right.
for Boudreaux's birthday, we all gonna party.
Yeah.
Bring your crabs unless they're in your pants.
Then keep them there.
As they say in the good old state.
It's just I love the vibe of day drinking, day cooking, being outside. It's just fun.
And the last thing to add to that whole element is, or the last element to add is the music. You got if you're cooking and you're drinking and you got some good whatever your playlist is that puts you in that good state of mind, man, that is heaven in a nutshell.
You better have a playlist.
But my playlist you would hate, and I would hate yours equally. This
Whatever. You enjoy yourself on the Pride Fest
French
float.
Yeah, you French listen and fuck.
I'm not gonna bring French music.
You know, that was a big part of it. When I was in college, there's a band called Pearl Jam, and they had their first album out called 10. And that was so huge. I remember in the fall, and everybody's listening to that. I'm like, gosh, this is great block party music. It's just amazing.
There was a band called Pearl Jam?
Yeah, some people may not know. Honestly, I'll run something by my daughter. She'll be like, Pearl what?
Pearl's jamming? Okay.
I don't get it.
Do you give them credit for the original? Do they get credit for that?
They brought in an era, and they really did make it pop. It was kind of interesting because I was into the hair bands in late high school, and I remember when it flipped, and then came the grunge rock. And I would say that it was Smells Like Teen Spirit. That flipped it.
Nirvana, then
Nirvana.
Pearl Jam.
But Nirvana, to me, they didn't have that.
No, they didn't.
Pearl Jam flipped radio stations because I was working at a rock station that would play, mostly classic rock. And all of a sudden they were like, we're flipping this new thing. It's alternative rock. We're going there. It's where it's going. And Pearl Jam got alternative rock started.
Yeah.
So the birth of, because they did spawn a lot of bands that weren't here until there's concert.
Yeah, Creed, Nickelback followed a couple years later. I think really what did it and made it something where it was laughable, I remember Adam Sandler doing a bit on Saturday Night Live, and the bit was him spoofing and mocking Pearl Jam, saying, and then people kind of started laughing about it, and then that's when it really shone a light on, kind of how ridiculous it sounded. But yeah, Eddie Vedder they were unique in that. I think they were one of the first that kind of came through, and then it's always the ones, that was the same way with the power ballad with hair bands that I hated, where one kind of started it and you're okay with one, and then it got so out of control. The hair got crazy because it was that, and then Creed, and then Nickelback, and then by the late 90s to early 2000s, I'm falling even more in the
The soccer mom version
everybody
of it.
was singing to that level, and that's usually what happens to a music genre is somebody does something the first time, like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then somebody copies it, and then like with any copy, it's not as good as the first.
Okay, so in today's era of music, what do you think the version of Arizona is today? Because clearly there's something that's going on over and over again that's going to sound dated, like the hair ha ha kind of voice.
It doesn't seem to bother anyone but me, but it's the mumble rap there. Hibbity hoo hoo hoo, chiwa hua hua hua, pew pew pew. That kind of stuff is asinine to me. I'm like going, you realize, because I've seen enough musical genres come in and go and then get spoofed and made fun of. I'm like, yo, that is going to be the easiest thing to make fun of. Some of that mumble rap hip hop bullshit that is not talent at all. I'm sorry, I know I sound like the old man on the block, but
no, I think
I can't not get into that stuff.
I think you got a point there, and I would even say the kind of song where you get about 30 seconds of a verse, and then the back 2 minutes of the song is the same chorus over and over and over again. I think that's a newer trend that is.
Yeah. I think that's going to be interesting because, to me, that is technology's driving it in that way. It's not a musical trend. It is almost a lifestyle change. TikTok has changed it. Attention spans are different. It's more than just he, her. It is, even the way they produce music is done now to be heard on a laptop. I've had sound engineers show me the difference between analog and digital. And sound engineers love the old analog and they hate the new compressed digital sounds.
You really can't hear a difference.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking for that kind of stuff, if you're someone that's not looking for those kind of things in life, I don't know if you're going to really give a fuck or even notice it. Because it's not on your radar. But yeah, if that's your background and you're kind of, I can see why you would not like it.
Yeah, I think the trend, I think you will start seeing shorter songs. Remember how we were cutting our songs, the pop songs, down to like 90 seconds, and then it kind of got backlash. And I did that because I noticed how my daughter was listening to music. And now, what is that Little Pooh thing song? That thing's like a minute 40.
You my little Pooh thing.
And it's kind of crazy. Now the music industry is actually doing it for us. And then I remember I got into at the end of the song, it was Eminem's Lose Yourself. I'm like, oh, I'd like to play that. And it was, I think, 4:40 or 4. I'm like, I don't have time. There's just no time to squeeze that whole song in. And so it's kind of crazy that's really where we are. I don't know that a lot of people want to put up with that. And then Ashley sent this email, which fits in pretty well. She was talking about how, I'm an older millennial, but I didn't grow up with a lot of music. And I'm kind of now digging in. I got the Pandora and I made a playlist. I noticed they have an option to play deeper cuts and got into Queen. And I noticed like every song is 6+ minutes. And that was it. There was a thing in the day where songs were longer. Metallica had a knock where they would go 6 to 8 minutes on their songs. And they almost had like 3 songs in one. And not that they got massive amounts of radio play, but once upon a time in classic rock, you've got Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. That's what, a 7-8 minute song. Hotel California. They used to be able to have that. There's no way you could ever get a hit song that would be 6+ minutes now.
That's the trend right now. But just like everything, what is old is new again, and all it takes is for another trend to go. People want. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Remember in radio, get to the point, quick, change topics. That was a big thing in radio. Keep it simple, keep it quick. And then people also started really liking long form podcasts. There's always going to be an audience for something, and trends come and go. And once you say everything is going to be that way forever, that's when you know it's going to be a fading trend.
Trends come and go, but herpes is forever.
Are those your words?
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see if there's ever a place where music swings back to longer songs than where they are. I don't know. I'm just wondering with where our brains are now and our social media dictates and takes us and the amount of content that we have. Keep in mind, they did longer songs when you got less albums and there wasn't enough stuff, a lot of stuff to listen to. So you would be like, hey, I love this song. Yeah, give me 3 more minutes of it because I got nothing else to listen to.
But we are a little jaded in the sense that we do a lot of top 40 or a top 100 type of stuff. We're always talking about TikTok and all that. And that is not everybody. I know it seems like it's everybody that wants everything quick and wants it like this. There's a lot of people in the world that like a lot of different shit. And just because TikTok's saying this is what everyone wants right this second doesn't necessarily mean it is the way.
I think you got to look at the younger generation because, yeah, the older generation is going to have that. They're going to love that. And they're going to say, I still love those long songs. And they do and they will. As they die off, will younger audiences appreciate a 6+ minute song? And Ashley, she's an older millennial, so that's not necessarily it or there right now. But if you had a Gen Z, if you had a 14-year-old, how would they feel about 6+ minute songs?
And I'm not sure 6+ minute song is the right kind of argument because that was not, I'm not saying it didn't happen back then because of course it did, but that was not the standard. Even back in 1985, a 6.5 minute song was a long ass fucking song, even back then. So that's...
Yeah. Right. It'll be interesting, and who knows, it might. I do know that every now and then, I think when kids kind of get burnt on the music they're listening to, they do recognize and realize, wow, there was some really good older songs. Like Ashley's saying, I'm just now discovering Fleetwood Mac and Billy Joel, and thanks for all your suggestions. So that is kind of interesting in that. And the one thing for me, I was at Matthews Brewing on Saturday. He had his 6th anniversary. And he is more harder rock, so he likes all that. But he had some bands that were playing, and there were some kids that were young, I would say late high school, and they were very good. Some of that stuff is harder to play instrumentally, and they were playing some of the old hard songs that are 20 to 30 years old and still into it. So obviously there are some kids that still do listen to that music.
Of course there is.
Yeah. The question is, will it ever become the mainstream again, or will it always just be a fringe?
Well, I mean, even when you guys grew up in high school, there was always kids that were in... Not everyone's into the what's right now popular. I went to school with a lot of kids that were into older shit that wasn't necessarily the most popular thing on the radio. Some kids, you know, they have an eclectic style of music.
I was a mix. I was a mix of the current stuff and then part classic rock stuff that was out and popular when I was an infant. So, and then I found in love. That's where I was, but I don't know if that's the era. I don't know how much my daughter or my son, I don't think Cannon, who's 15, I don't know that he knows anything other than just, I think they even call them mixtapes. I even try to figure out what he's listening to. I'm like, who you listen to? And some of it, 2 of the stuff he listens to, 2 of the artists he loves most, live in his friend's neighborhood in Boca.
Really?
Yeah, Boo with the Stick.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what he's listening to is Boo with the Stick.
Interesting.
Glad he's supporting local music, to be quite honest with you.
Right,
That's
exactly.
great.
So, I don't know that he knows any of that stuff. He may recognize the song because I do hear every now and then he'll be looking at a TikTok video, and the other day was playing ABBA But would he know that that's ABBA and that was a song, or does he just think it's the background music made for the video he's watching?
A lot of it, too, is how you're raised as well. I mean, I was raised by some hippies, so I always had some old-ass hippie shit playing on the background during my developmental years. And if you and the Queen aren't necessarily music lovers where you guys would always have it on in the background, that, you know, your kids may not explore old time songs because it wasn't around them a lot.
Yeah, I think there are some parents that do. They really make it a point to play that music for their kids. And I've always listened to what I've listened to, but I'm not sure how much any of it's really rubbed off. If it's had any influence, probably my oldest son, Colin. I listen to a lot of alternative, and he likes alternative. So if I influenced any of my kids, it would probably be him. But I don't think I influenced my daughter. SZA is her top artist. She loves SZA and Drake.
And you wonder too, at a certain age, you know, why you're developing as a human. Is this all the ingredients working with just everything? You're at the right time to learn. So what you're surrounded by is going to be something you're either drawn to or not. But that's the time you really kind of develop what you're going to like now to the future you. Is that too much of a pot question? Why are we here, man?
Did you eat an edible?
No, but yeah. I knew as I was explaining it, I'm like, nah, you bail on this question, dog. I forgot I wasn't talking to Denny's off the mic.
Yeah, so it is fascinating where music's going to go, what the trends will be. I am intrigued by it because, man, marketing is everything. That Lil Pooh thing, that's a commercial that we play, that song. And the licensing of that music, that's why you see now so many artists are selling the licensing on their music because they're just making them into commercials or using them in video games and
it's
TikTok
a sample
videos
of an older song.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I just wonder how that whole back end of the business side of my little boo thing started, because on TikTok they tried to make it look like it was organic and the guy just came up with it and now it's all this success, but you can't sample somebody like that without going through the right channels.
Sure, that's why they're selling all those older artists. You're like going, who would even care about this music? That's what they're doing. They're taking it. The fact that my son, who's a 15-year-old male, has got ABBA playing on his thread on TikTok, to me was odd. Why would that be something that he would be exposed to? I can't even remember what it was.
Because Dancing Queen fucking still hits hard. That's why.
Well, and I think that is it. There are some songs that legitimately, that's what I do love. Like Suits does his movie reviews. There are songs that I hear, I'm like, gosh, that song still, like a Duran Duran, Hungry Like the Wolf, or Flock of Seagulls, I Ran. I hear that song, I'm like, gosh, that still cuts through. That's a great sounding song.
And there's a reason why they wouldn't play him if they didn't get them numbers. So there clearly is something special about those songs that stand the test of time, which is cool. That's what music's about.
They are. Yeah, and that's what you've seen. The thing about Fleetwood Mac, and you're even talking about that today, those songs that have had a resurgence because of a viral video. You know, Fleetwood Mac has had that, the Boo thing, all those. There's just one song after another now. Where was you had the Kate Bush song last year.
One of my favorite things on the planet is hearing a song you've never heard before, and it instantly you go, "What is that?" I want to. It only takes one time. You're not even halfway through finishing the song, and you already know, "Holy shit, I fuck with this song." It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does,
you're right. Yeah,
that's in my top 3 favorite feelings.
It is nice. It is nice. Yeah. Have you had a song lately that just grabbed you right away?
I did. I was in Home Goods. I forget the name of it. I did the little, hey, what's playing, Siri?
Oh,
and
yeah.
But it was kind of like a dance track. It's not normally what the bird would like, but I'm shopping at Home Goods. I'm fucking dancing, buying shit I don't need.
Oh, Home Goods. You buy so much shit you don't need. You'll get back in your car, you'll be like, what did I just do?
They pump in drugs through their air conditioned system to make you...
You go in for one thing and you leave with 7. And you're like, how did this happen?
Why do I need 7 fake plants in these elephant pots?
Home Goods spin you around and just, I don't know. They got some trickery in there.
They do. They do. And they also throw snacks.
Yes.
They fucking throw you in bizarro.
You walk in, you're like, I'm only spending $30. And you're like, I spent 98.
Like,
how?
Christmas peanut butter chocolate pretzels?
Hugo sent an email. I said, could somebody please tell me why the Kevin Ralston is drinking a beer with his pinky up in the air? The Queen is drinking it better than he is. He looks like he is sipping fine wine in Paris. Somebody remove his drinking card
Let's see.
Yeah, he took that. That was a video that my daughter had made and posted. I'm doing that. I don't typically drink like that. I'm showing off logos because I knew we were doing a video, and I had the Matthews logo front and center, so I'm moving my hand up so you can see that on the glass.
I was gonna say, it's not the most. It's not the most comfortable looking picture.
No,
He's not trying to be pinkies out. He's trying to do
show the logo.
Matthews Brewing a solid.
Yeah. So just so you know, don't think I'm always like.
But I like that you're riding him for being hey, drink your beer like a man.
That's right.
You softy.
If they're riding him, they're not riding you.
That's great.
Yes, that's what was going on there. I got an email here from Lou. Said on today's After the Show, Bird said he was a salsa dancing fool. Is he really? Does he even know how?
No, I fake salsa, but I love it.
Okay. From a Puerto Rican to an Italian, I'm thinking we need to do a dance-off challenge.
Oh.
I'm terrible, but I love it. Moonwalk. I love the moonwalk. But I'm terrible at it, and I've worked at the moonwalk, and there's one other dance I want to learn so bad, and I always forget the name of it, but it's where you twist your feet to the beat.
Twist your feet to the beat.
You see it a lot in like cheerleading dance, but it's kind of like you're going like ooh 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 ooh. If you're just listening to the podcast and not watching, that's not going to be a great moment.
Dancing on the radio.
As I'm going, ooh,
It's tricky.
I've got the heart of a dancer, just none of the talent.
You're looking skinny, though. Look at you in your onesie.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that illness was good for you.
It's funny when you can't eat and you get sick, it does do amazing for your waistline.
Multiple infections in your head. We counted 3. Will definitely knock a man out for a good weekend.
Finally feeling like myself again today, not going to lie.
Okay, that's good.
It is. I think all the medicine's out of my system. I don't like that stuff. That stuff makes me depressed. It does. It puts me in a weird headspace. The pain medicine.
The pain meds,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't agree with everybody. The antibiotics you needed, hopefully you took your whole schedule.
Yeah, I think that saved me, honestly.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, because you had 3 infections going at once, and I was kind of worried.
It all went to shit with that gravy.
Gravy started it.
Every time you underestimate a bit
Yeah.
on this show, that's
Jump
when
stuff to bite you right in the ass.
it gets fucked. You get fucked.
Yeah.
You do. I got fucked, man. That I couldn't believe it. I tried to make it better. I don't know. I did it all wrong.
My gravy has the heat.
Your gravy has the heat, man.
It does.
I instantly open my eye in that gravy, and I instantly go,
Oh,
I
shit.
fucked up.
It's about to go down.
Got an email here from Christina in Brooklyn. She said, my husband and I are coming to visit my hometown, Lake Worth, for a week during the holidays, and I was hoping to take a day trip down to Miami using the Bright Line. We're 29 years old, and we like to bar hop, appetizer crawl, and we like to watch sports games out and about. I moved to New York City right when I graduated college, and I've never really experienced Miami as a full-blown adult. Do you have any advice for a day trip to Miami using the Bright Line? The one recommendation is on your way home, don't fall asleep. You'll wind up in Orlando. But on your way down, well, for you in Lake Worth, you can get the Bright Line either in West Palm Beach or Boca, and I guess you can figure out what you want to do. What might be fun, I guess, depends upon how you're feeling. West Palm Beach might be closer than Boca, actually, to go and hop on the train. And there are a couple places right around the Bright Line to go grab a cocktail that's right by that station. Boca doesn't have that. Boca's Bright Line station is kind of not really near anything.
And right now, they do have some savings going on. Those Brightline tickets I saw, they're making deals. So go on their website and see what the deals are.
Yeah.
I love a deal.
Yeah, if I were doing a day drinking trip to Miami, you go to the Bright Line. Your pockets are... I would probably go to the Brickell area. It's got the highest concentration of bars and restaurants, and then they got some cool places right there on the Miami River, just a little bit to the north, and right over the Miami River. There's a great pocket of drinking. I would either go there or I would go to Midtown and Wynwood. Those would be your 3 pockets. to do any day drinking in Miami. You can get to the station. You can hop an Uber anywhere of those 3 places you want to go. Nice concentration of bars and the such.
Look at this Miami Kev.
I know.
Yeah.
He's so fancy.
Right.
I'm thinking about going down to that Santa's Enchanted Forest.
Okay.
That we had a great time, other than the fact that our career was falling into complete hell.
Career was terrible.
That was a good day, at least.
Yes, that amusement park down there is fun.
It was. That was one of those ones you went on the roller coaster and you kind of looked a little small. Going, this ain't going to be shit. And it kind of rocked your dick in the dirt.
It was fun.
In a good way. I mean that in the best way possible. And I'm not a big roller coaster guy. I had a great fun doing that.
Well, last year I took the kids on the Bright Line for the Polar Express.
Okay.
They're not doing that this year. The Bright Line is not doing the Polar Express. And they did it last year. I don't know why they're not doing it.
You mean just
It's kind of weird to me.
when you got on the Bright Line, everything was just straight up Polar Express?
No, you had to buy a special ticket that was very pricey, and the train didn't go that far. I don't know. It was cooler to me when it left from West Palm and then went down south to Lauderdale or Miami. When we did it last year, you got on the station in Miami and then it just went like 3 blocks and then it went back to the station in Miami. Like it didn't go anywhere.
Wow, okay.
So that was weird. And then, I guess they posted on their website that they are going to be doing it next year.
Maybe with them launching Orlando, there was just too much going on and they couldn't put a focus on it.
That's a big undertaking.
Well, they got a lot going on too, and I saw not that it would affect the local Bright Line, but I saw that they just got I think a $3 billion grant from the president to build a Bright Line from Los Angeles to Vegas. It would take 3 hours, and I think it's going to be done in a matter of a couple years. So I think their focus is on that right now.
Yeah, no upcoming performances of the Polar Express. So, you're right. You can't do everything.
Right, yeah.
You're building a damn train to Orlando. I get why maybe you couldn't do the Polar Express.
We are getting to places quicker, though. Makes you think we are a pH or pubic hair away from just, space cars.
Space cars. Well, that's what Elon Musk wanted us to have, space cars.
All this shit, all that stuff isn't crazy anymore. You know what I mean?
I know.
Even talking about time travel, you're not laughed out the room anymore.
He's right.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
People talking about those things where you're going to get in them, like at the bank teller, or you get in a little thing and it shoots you through this tunnel, and then you're wherever you want to be in a matter of minutes instead of hours.
It's just I remember growing up, there was a time when you would bring this kind of shit up, and people would go, "That motherfucker is nuts."
Well, people still call you a nut motherfucker, but for different reasons.
And I get that, and I'll own that, and I'll take that, but. To my point, you see what I'm saying? I remember when I first got on this mic, oh yeah, bird aliens, oh robots taking over. The crazy guy screaming about that shit ain't not so crazy, is
Robots are taking over.
And we are talking aliens.
They are talking a lot more about government-kept secrets about aliens.
Time travel is just a pH away.
What's next? Is Bigfoot going to march in here and then you can just crotch chop us all? I told you, motherfuckers.
I swear, I'm not crazy.
I've been telling you. No one would listen.
Nobody would.
Christina also said, I'd like to bring some kielbasa and pierogi to the show from the markets in my neighborhood here in Brooklyn. When are you all going to be off for the holidays? We're going to be on our final day before Christmas will be Friday the 22nd. And then we'll be off the following week. Christmas is on a Monday, and then we'll just kind of chill because you got New Year's going into that next weekend. So we're just spend it with the fam, watch college football.
What's your guys' feelings for a Christmas Monday? Like, Monday. Or does it matter because we're on vacation?
Doesn't matter because we're on vacation. Yeah,
okay.
It doesn't bother me. It's not like you want a St. Patty's Day on a Friday kind of feeling.
But that Friday, December 22nd show.
Oh, no.
Who's ready?
Oh, I'm ready for the show. I thought you were going to say the other thing I was afraid you were going to say. I'm having another naughty party.
Oh, no.
Thank God.
I think all of the fallout from last year's naughty party, we can only do that like the Olympics every 4 years.
Okay.
That shit was too insane. People still mad about shit that went down at the naughty party.
That shit aged people.
Friendships ended.
Oh boy.
Dude, the naughty party was fucked.
The only thing that was flowing more than alcohol was regret the next day.
That's what happens when you make just a witch's brew of poison and potions and then give it to the public.
People were just fucking wasted.
Dude, they were next level wasted. Me being one of them.
Panda drank, which he never does. Panda had to be put to bed at like 8:30. I mean, the party
Wow.
had just started,
Yeah.
and Panda was like, I saw people walking him upstairs to our bedroom. I'm like, bye.
And when
Wow.
Panda is off the grid,
Yeah.
we are fucked,
There's
man.
no training wheels for Virginia.
There's no one to say, babe,
Yeah.
you gotta call it a night.
Right.
Well, you are heading towards an iceberg. Now,
Yeah.
whether you hit it or not, but there's no one.
Yeah.
There's no one.
At the helm.
There's no one at the
At least
helm,
no one's
man.
sober at the helm.
I mean, the rule is never be the drunkest. I don't know who won that one.
It was a good battle between about 7 people.
Wow.
Dude. Man, I couldn't even enjoy my vacation because I had a week of anxiety after.
Yeah, we're going to put the naughty party on a 4-year rotation.
Okay.
Good. All right.
And next time, it's at your house.
So where we are, okay, we're going to turn out the holiday show. For
Yeah,
KVJ.
that last Friday, December 22nd, that will be a drinking podcast. And we will have some fun. I'll make sure we get some catering in here.
Jason at Cape Coral said, I'm sure Denny's has, but Kev, have you watched the trailer for GTA 6? The setting is Vice City, which is their version of Miami.
It's awesome.
I've seen a little bit of it. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Just on TV, they had it and they were showing it. Nothing, I mean, I've seen my son playing it, but there wasn't anything that jumped. It looked like more of the same, but he said the game is set in a fictional state called Leonida, which is basically Florida. The trailer has so many Florida references that it reminds me of the Florida Man bit you guys do. The developers definitely did their homework about Florida. You already have a Twitch account. When are we going to get to watch Denny's streaming some games on there? I'm sure he has plenty of time.
Look, I feel like there's a big part of our audience that is into the gaming world, and we could really definitely explore some Denny's gaming stuff and make it content to where it's just not him. You know, he's a real legit good gamer. He knows what the fuck he's talking about, and we need somebody on our team that's good. Because if not, 1980s Virginia, wow, all these kids are playing Pac-Man, Kevin. It's ruining society. She don't know about this gaming shit.
I don't.
She thinks it's still 1988 with the gaming.
I'm down with the Q-Bert.
Exactly. And I have a rage problem with video games. I can't do it. I gotta put on easy mode and get drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, so the one that my son plays, I think, is in Los Angeles. It looks like that would be LA.
This new one that's coming out, it's supposed to be the real deal, and the gamers are supposed to love it, and it's supposed to represent a lot of Florida.
Did you see somebody say it's 2025?
It is, I believe.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Good Lord. Okay.
But Denny's had a VGB, video game boner.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if my son has seen it or not, but I'm sure he'll be excited. Doug sent an email. He said, Kevin, I heard Jaybird say that one should not mix medicine with alcohol, and he is right. My friend took an alcohol at about noon in front of a hospital. The next morning, he woke up flat on his back in his house with the front door open and his car sitting just outside the door. He remembered nothing. Crazy.
Rookie. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not supposed to do that. Especially if you're not a big time drinker.
Yeah.
Some of this medication, it could take one beer and turn it into 3 for some people. I'm saying the effects of it. It'll get you twisted quickly.
Okay.
It can turn on you very quickly.
And you guys have heard about the elf on a shelf? But how about this? In Polk County, you can get Sheriff Grady Judd on a shelf for just $20. It'll be the Polk County Sheriff, the guy that's so good in all of our Florida Man things. He always has those amazing quotes. He's the guy he don't put up with shit.
No, he don't.
I love it. I love his press conference, especially when he goes after sex offenders, because he wants to shame them, and he takes his time with making them look like clown asses.
He's a cowboy, and
Yes.
I respect the dude.
Yes, he's got some amazing quotes.
Oh, yeah.
He loves his press conferences.
It gives you some entertainment.
And I think the people in Polk County love him because they're more that style. They're like,
he's a hero.
You don't come to our town to mess around.
I'm sure you'll get someone who doesn't like him. I'm sure of it, because all that stuff gets political. But I'm going on an entertainment. When I watch his press conferences, I fucking chuckle.
Well, I think he said something. I think my dad had even said to me, my dad loves guns. There was a guy that started shooting at some cops. And I think he had wounded one of them, and they just took the guy out. And they're like going, yeah, you guys put 30 bullets in this guy. Is there a reason why there was 30 bullets in this guy's body? And he said, because we ran out of ammo and couldn't shoot him anymore.
Yeah, that's...
So,
So I'm saying, not everyone's going to love that quote.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So not everybody loves Sheriff Grady's act, but some people do.
Maybe don't shoot at cops.
Yeah, that's what some people would say.
Look, it'll never work out good for you or the cops that you hurt. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
If there's a lot of them there, don't shoot at them, you big dummy.
Yeah, I think that he has given them free carte blanche. If anyone shoots at them, they're free to unload.
I just love seeing him going on sexual predators.
That's fun.
It is.
Yeah, he doesn't tolerate that much either. And Christine sent in a nice email. She got to comp some tickets to the Christmas Carol, and she went and took her daughter Olivia, and she said this is her in front of the Little Smiles tree that they have there, and we voted for it. So you can see that. Virginia, you said you went to go see that last night, right? Christmas Carol?
I was at the Maltz Jupiter Theater last night watching A Christmas Carol, and they have this whole thing in the lobby called Communitrees.
Oh.
And so each charity that got chosen has a tree that they got to decorate in the style of their charity. Loved all of them, especially the Little Smiles tree. I also love the Furry Friends tree. Their tree was all their little animals that are in the shelter with their name on it. Like you had a cat ornament with the name Mittens on there, and just like it was really cute. They did a good job. All the different charities represented so well. And it's a competition. You vote for your favorite, and then they get money. But then you can also bid on the tree and win the tree. I think Little Smiles' tree was up to like a $750 bid.
Oh, that's so cool.
I wonder if furry friends ever get any accidental weird calls.
What?
Accidental weird calls.
What do you mean?
Furry, like furries, that's also a thing.
Oh, like sex stuff?
Yeah, accidentally. I wonder if that ever happened. Sometimes that happens.
There's a confusion.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'll let you ask that question.
I am not asking that question. It felt awkward here. I would not bring this outside of this room.
Dennis, maybe edit that out.
I was like, ugh.
No, I'm not saying that. That's a fair question, though, because
I hope Mittens isn't listening.
Poor Mittens. Yeah, you're right.
All right. Well, thank you for all the emails and for being here today. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.